Welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of this build series for the U-Blade variant of my bulldozer. In this video we are going to focus on finishing the bulldozer and testing it. So let's start now with the undercarriage assembly. These are the wheels assembly and they are assembled this way, and I did it this way because it allowed me to create more scale details on both of the sides. And here we had to include these, insert these bell bearings on the center of both places. And then we had to glue these two pieces together. And for the glue that I'm using is this Gorilla glue that you can find here in the US in any store. What I like to do after putting it together is putting this M3 screw and secure it with a nut in the other side. That way they are perfectly aligned and they are also holding while the glue is cooling. I need to cut now 4 pieces of 46 millimeters long of this 3mm rod, and those are going to be here. This rod needs to be press fitting here. If they came too loose, you can use super glue to keep it in place, or if they are too tight to put it, you can, with a drill bit, you can open it a little bit until it reaches the end. They're really strong there. And then this one connect inside this guy. There is 2 holes there, and you only slide this one inside the other one. And that's it. You need to put some springs there. A good advice is to put grease here so it can slide better into the other assembly piece without too much room. I will fill now this piece with weights. Before continuing with the assembly, don't forget to put these M2x6 screws here on the sides. This is an undercarriage full of weights. And now I can start assembling the rollers. For the rollers, I have these M3x30 screws and these bell bearings. Then this 3D printed piece. Then this 3D printed piece goes here. We tighten it more. Till it reaches the other end. Now it's complete. I will do the same for the rest of the rollers. These are the rollers already installed. and the wheels are already cured, the glue. I'm going to install the wheels now. That's the front idle wheel, and now we have to get the back one. These bell bearings need to go here. This support is the one that is going to be assembled here, and we need this piece and then some bell bearings. To transmit the power from the motor to the sprocket, I need this piece here. Has to be mounted with these screws, 4 screws. This 3D piece is going to secure this threaded rod here. And the critical step is the distance sticking out from here, it has to be the same one on the other side. After verifying that, we can tie this here. Once this piece is even in both sides and totally tied here, we can start assembling the undercarriage with the main chassis. We will need some M5 nuts to secure this part here. And it's recommendable to use thread lock to lock the nut, and to secure the equalizer bar we use this screw. It's an M3 screw. The next step is assembly these covers to the chassis with these N2x6 screws. It is coming now looking more like a bulldozer with the undercarriage. To install the tracks, I'm going to first graze these ones here and put some springs on it. Something that it happened to me frequent when I put in the track is like I put it in reverse. To avoid that, these are the track link. This part that is sticking out up, it has to go on the front. Okay. And these tracks that I am putting are the 3D printed one. You also have the option of the metal tracks that I install on my other variant angle bulldozer, but in this one I'm installing the 3D printed ones. Before installing the other track, I realized that I have this accessory here for the back part of the bulldozer. In this version, I'm not installing the Reaper. It's totally optional if you want to print it and install, but to keep it simple, I just using these accessories here, and I'm going to install it before putting the track because then it's going to be more difficult for me. I have assembled this accessory here. It took more time than I was expecting without disassembling the other pieces. But now I'm going to install the other track. These are the two tracks already assembled, and now I'm going to move on the cabin lights. I'm going to have two spotlights, and they are going to be on the roof of the bulldozer, and they are really tiny. For the LEDs, are going to use this old strip and verify that the LED is working, and then connect these wires to this and this 47 ohm resistor to work in parallel. So the current will come here, and then the two LEDs are going to connect it here in parallel to offer the resistor. I'm using this tester to test if the LED is working and also the polarity. So this is the polarity, here is turning on. I know that this is positive, this is negative, and is a good LED. These are now my two spotlights, and the short wire one has to go here because this part, it has a channel on the cabin to route the cables down, and this one has to be the longer one since the resistor is going to be here. Also double check that they are functioning when you final assembly. Put electricity here, 3 volts, and then test it. Or if you have the multimeter, use that. This is the light assembly. Now I only had to keep these wires here in this canal, but here there is the resistor and I have tested it and they are working fine. For the lights that are going to go here on the side's rear part, I'm going to use 3 LEDs and this 100 ohm resistor. And the way that I'm going to put it, as I did for the previous version, is I'm going to glue it here together and then solder all the wires. Use one resistor here and then other resistor here. This is a circuit complete for the rear lights. So you see there the resistor and then all of them are in parallel. Then I have to install this filter and it's going to go here. And I have this N2x6 screw. It's done. That's the filter. And also I have to install this grill, this grid. And it's press fit there and it looks awesome. That's it. As you see here, I have not installed the beacon lights. It's because this version is going to have the cover on the top of the roof, the gate, and it's going to cover those lights. So I'm not installing those lights. Now we connect these two pieces using screws and we put it here on the roof. Got all those details and scale for this, for the roof. 3D printed the patterns for cutting the plastic, and these are plastic available on any wrapping for food, and I'm using that thin transparent plastic, and I'm going to marker it now with a marker to make the cuts for the windows. After soldering the windows, so the way that I do it is I go like this first to create like a bevel where I can then fusion both plastics. And this is a really low temperature that I'm using here. And then what I do is I'm going to the corner and I fusion both plastics there. Having all my windows ready, I had to start assembly with this frame. So this one goes like this, and then this, and it has some screws inside. Now these frames connect here, and this is the second one. Here I have connected all the different side panels to the frame. And now I can connect it to the roof, and I can connect the doors. And that's it, that's the door. When the windows and the frames are assembled, we can now connect it to the roof. We pass the cables here, and then we can screw the roof with the rest of the frames. And we have our cabin full scale. Another thing that I have improved in this version, and also it's going to affect the variable angle blade version, is the inclusion of some holes here for magnets. That way we can put the hood and it will keep in place. To put the magnets, we only had to put some CA glue here on the bottom, and then press fit the magnets. The way to connect these magnets is that you have to follow the same order. So this corner here corresponds to this one here. You put some CA glue and then you drop it, and then this face is the one that you're going to put on the glue. That. Then same thing here. This one goes like this, and this belongs to this one. So this face is the one that you have to put on the glue. And then lastly this one. And the face top is the one that you connect to the glue. And that's it. We have our magnets connected, and voila! The hook now doesn't move. It's really strong there. Of course, we had to wait for the glue to dry, but that's the idea. I'm going to use some acrylic paint to add some details, like on the oil cap, and some details like the nuts and some screws. Having the paint job already done, I have now to fill this one with weights. And I think these ones I think will take half kilogram or 600 grams also of weight. And now I'm going to put here this cover that add more details to the side of the fuel tank. For that I'm going to use super glue to put it together. The other tank also has a similar one. While the glue is curing, I can start assembling the floor and the side panels. Here we have to use 4 screws to attach these sides. Now we connect here the C. I know that in the previous video I was showing this radio control, but I had to buy this one since this one only have 3 mixes and this one has 4. With the 4 mixes I need 4 mixers for 2 mixers for the tracks and 2 mixers for this actuator in order to control it. Tracks here and actuators here, or the blade. So the way to bind this receiver to the radio is the same thing. We jump this last channel here. In this case is the BYCC. Then we provide the power. And it's blinking. Then here on the radio we unlock. We go to system and then RTX bind. And now is solid here, the light. And we can start controlling the tracks. Here I'm going to start with the mixing for the tracks. So as you see here, if I push it, it goes backward. And then if I try it goes forward and backward. So let's see. And also we had to check what channels are these ones. So in order to do that, we see here, and this is channel 3 and channel 4. So those are the channels that we are going to mix first. We go to mix. In functions, mix, mix. So mix 1, we put it on, and we say that is channel 3, and the master is channel 3, and the slave is channel 4. Now let's see what happened. So this one is reverse. We can control here the reverse. So that was channel 4. Oh, let me see if it was channel 3. Okay, now we put it forward and backward, and it's correct, but this one is 50% less. So let's see what happened. We go here to the mix again. And it says negative 50%, positive 50%. We have to change this one to 100%. I have to take this protector and then it should work. Yeah, it worked perfectly now. And now if that's forward and backward. Now we need to control the steering, and it's only working on this channel. I guess that this channel is channel number 4. Yeah, so the other mix, the master has to be channel number 4 and the slave has to be channel number 3. So we go to mix. We enable to mix and we enable mix number 2. Put it on, and then the master will be channel number 4. And the slave will be channel number 3. And here will be 100% on each. Okay, now let's see. But one has to be the contrary. So if we put it like this one is correct, but this one is incorrect. So we go to mixes on our mix number 2. And then positive, we change this one to minus 100%. Let's see now. On mix number 2, the negative and negative position, it goes, it's doing it correctly, but not on the, if I steer to the right, the tracks go to the left. So I had to go back and check I can reverse number 4 and 3. Now the tracks looks correct. They are steering on the correct position. But if I go forward, it goes backward, and if I go backward, it goes forward. So the solution, if you have the problem that you go forward and then reverse, and then, but when you're steering, the tracks are moving correctly, then what I have done is I changed the channel from 4 to 3 and 3 to 4. And that way I modify here the mixes, put in the master for the acceleration in, let me show you here, for channel 3 master, slave channel 4. And then for the mix 2 channel master 4 and then slave 3. And that solved my issue. So here you see if I put forward, it goes forward, and then backward goes backward, and then right this one go forward, and then left this one go forward. For the actuator mix, let's check on the monitor what channel is this one. If I want to go down, it's channel number 2. So channel number 2 has to be master, and channel number 1 has to be a slave for this function. So let's configure that. Go here, mix, then mix number 3, we are going to activate it, and the master will be channel number 2, and the slave will be channel number 1. Let's see, and here let's put 100%, and then this one 100%, and master has to be channel number 2, so it is different, so let's put it here -1, and then this one -100, I mean. So now both are down and up. This one then is channel number 1, and it will be the next mix that we are going to configure. So channel number 1 is master, and channel number 2 is a slave, and we have to put it 100% in both. And then let's see. So that one is correct because, yeah. That one will lower display, and then this one will do it like that. If we put it on the front, like that, so this one has to go, if I put it to the right, this one has to go down, yeah, and then this one up. Yep, it's working. And then both down, both up. Yep. The cables from the lights on the roof of the bulldozer through here. Have it ready to assemble the cabin together, but not yet because we need to install this piece here. Using these screws, we secure the cabin to the chassis. There are some additional screws that goes here to secure these doors to the rest of the chassis. open. Close. I'm going to start the assembly for the blade now, and this is the first version of the blade. You have here two options. One is this one where you 3D print and it has all these details here, and the other option is without that, and there are some files where you can laser cut or CNC the plates, metal plates that are going here, and then you screw it with some screws. Also, in this version, I have designed these holders for the actuators, but I probably will modify that to use the actuators anchors that they bring, and I will put like a M3 or M4 screw so they can pivot this way, because these ones cannot pivot when the blade moves this way, and it can stretch and break these ones here. So I'm going to do that modification, but I can assemble it and test this one to see if it's working. Also have the other blade that is taller and bigger option, the same with the two options, with the metal plate and also with the 3D printed one. I just testing this one first to see if the design work well, and then I will do the other one in another video. Here now we have to assemble this ball joint. We put it inside this piece, and then we screw it here on this side left arm of the blade. These two pieces then has to be screwed together with this. Now we have this point here to pivot. Assembly complete. Now let's put it in together with the dozer and test it out. Up, down, side, but it is too tight. that is twisting the frame of dozer. Yeah, I need to change this one here. Here I'm having some difficulties with this design. So basically it's too rigid. So the first change that I'm going to do is utilize, instead of this fixed one to hold the actuator, I'm going to use the same brackets that they bring to anchor to the pieces, and I'm going to use a small M4 screw so it can pivot here. And then also this part here is too rigid also, so it is kind of applying forces here up and down when this one is twist up like this. So I have to rethink it in this solution here, and then I will have it ready on the other video, the next one, when I tested it. So just keep watching on the keep pending on the next video release, because I am testing this one and I'm going to have a better solution for these problems. I will leave it until here, and thank you very much for watching this video, and please let me comments below if you have some ideas how to fix this one. I will keep it in consideration. Other thing is that this solution here, it pop up. This screw here pop up out of here. So I don't know if I have to make this one here variable. Even if it's fake, no? It's not going to apply any hydraulic force here, but I think this part, it needs to move up and down when this, because there is a huge difference there when this one is moving up and down. So I think it has to be moving fairly free. It has to be moving free up and down like that. So maybe I can make a fake functional one. That's another modification that I have to do. If you guys have another ideas, you can let me a comment below and I will read it and reply. Thank you very much then, and I will see you on the next video.